There's nothing quite like a warm, lazy, sunny afternoon. You step outside, feel the radiant heat on your skin, maybe you take a sip of your iced coffee and watch a few birds happily splashing around in a bird bath. The sun is the ultimate giver of life. It grows our food, powers our weather systems, keeps our oceans liquid, and prevents our little blue marble from becoming a frozen, dead rock, drifting endlessly in the absolute zero void of space. For the entire history of human existence, from our days living in caves to the era of smartphones and space stations, we have taken it for granted that our reliable yellow dwarf star will always be there. It is the one constant in a chaotic universe. But there is a terrifying, inescapable truth hiding in sight plain. The sun is a ticking time bomb. It will not happen tomorrow. It will not happen next year or even a million years from now. But eventually, our cosmic life giver will become our ultimate executioner. In the distant future, the sun will expand, boil our oceans into steam, melt our continents into oceans of glass, and consume the Earth entirely. Everything we have ever built, every grand monument, every history book, every video game, and every single memory of humanity will be incinerated into subatomic cosmic dust. It sounds like the ultimate unavoidable doom, the universe's eviction notice. But what if it isn't? What if humanity doesn't just sit around on our lawn chairs waiting to be roasted? What if, with enough time, science, and sheer stubborn willpower, we could actually survive the death of our solar system?
How humanity will survive the death of our sun. To understand how to survive an apocalypse of this magnitude, we first need to understand the physics of why our sun eventually wants to kill us. Think of a star like a giant cosmic campfire, but instead of burning wood, it burns hydrogen gas. Right now, deep inside the sun's core, an environment of unimaginable pressure and heat, billions of tons of hydrogen atoms are being violently smashed together every single second to create helium. This process is called nuclear fusion, and it releases an incomprehensibly huge amount of energy. This relentless explosion pushes outwards, constantly trying to blow the star apart into the cosmos. But the sun is also incredibly, mind-bogglingly heavy. It accounts for 99.8% of all the mass in our entire solar system. Its massive gravity pulls everything inward, trying to crush the star down into a tiny point. For billions of years, these titanic forces, the outward push of nuclear explosions and the inward crush of gravity, are perfectly balanced. Physicists call this hydrostatic equilibrium. It's a beautiful, violent, delicate dance. But a campfire eventually runs out of wood, and our sun, despite its massive size, has a finite supply of fuel. It will eventually run out of hydrogen in its core. When this happens, that delicate balance is permanently destroyed. The core, no longer producing enough outward energy, will begin to collapse under its own crushing weight. As it gets squeezed tighter and tighter, it gets insanely hot, hot enough to start burning the ash it just made, the helium. This new, hotter fire is much more aggressive. It burns with terrifying intensity. It pushes outwards with so much brute force that the outer layers of the sun inflate like a massive hot air balloon. Our friendly, life-giving yellow dwarf would transform into a terrifying, bloated red giant. And that is when Earth's nightmare truly begins.
Let's map out the exact timeline of our doom. You might think we have a comfortable 5 billion years until the sun becomes a red giant and things get bad. But Earth's expiry date for complex life is actually much, much closer than that. As the sun ages and helium builds up in its core, it gets slightly brighter and hotter every few million years. It is a slow, creeping burn. In just about 1 billion years from now,
the sun's total luminosity will increase by 10%. That honestly doesn't sound like a lot. If your light bulb got 10% brighter, you might not even notice. But for a delicate planetary biosphere, it is an absolute death sentence. The extra heat will cause more liquid water to evaporate from our oceans into the atmosphere. Water vapor is a highly potent greenhouse gas which will trap even more heat, creating a devastating, unstoppable runaway greenhouse effect. Earth will slowly transition into a toxic, boiling hellscape, just like Venus. The oceans will literally boil away, escaping into space. The majestic continents will bake into sterile, dry rock. The carbon dioxide in the atmosphere will drop so low that plant life will suffocate, causing the entire food chain to collapse in a matter of millennia. All plants, all animals, and all the cute little ducks will perish. Earth will be dead long before the sun even reaches its giant phase. But wait, we promised existential dread, so it gets worse. Fast forward to 5 billion years from now. The sun finally runs out of its core hydrogen entirely. The core collapses, helium ignites, and the star expands into a red giant. It will swell to more than 200 times its current size. Mercury is swallowed instantly, vaporized into atoms. Venus is next, dragged into the solar atmosphere and dissolved. And then the blazing red wall of plasma approaches Earth. The sky will be completely filled with a terrifying, featureless red glow that stretches from horizon to horizon. Mountains will melt into glowing lava. The atmosphere will be entirely stripped away by violent solar winds. Because the sun is so huge now, its outer atmosphere creates friction. Earth will literally experience drag, slowing down its orbit, causing our planet to spiral inward. Ultimately, the Earth will be dragged into the sun's outer layers and completely disintegrated. Eventually, after a final violent burp, the sun will shed its outer layers, creating a beautiful, glowing planetary nebula of colorful gas, leaving behind a dead, dense, glowing ember called a white dwarf. But Earth will be completely gone, erased. If this sounds utterly depressing and hopeless, don't panic just yet. We just assumed humanity sat there for 1 billion years playing video games and doing nothing. But humans are the universe's ultimate problem solvers. We didn't let the harsh ice ages freeze us, we didn't let the saber-toothed tigers eat us, and we are certainly not going to let a bloated, dying star eat us either.
If we survive our own current self-inflicted problems like rapid climate change, nuclear weapons, and the rise of rogue artificial intelligence, humanity 1 billion years from now will be utterly unrecognizable. We will likely be a Type 1 or even a Type 2 civilization on the Kardashev scale. We will be able to harness the energy of entire planets and stars. We will be, for all intents and purposes, practical gods. And gods do not let their home planets boil. So how do we fix a dying star? We have a few massive, mind-bending engineering options. Solution 1. Move the Earth. Why stay sitting in the blast zone? We could literally drive the Earth away from the expanding sun. We could do this using the physics of gravity assists, by capturing massive asteroids from the Kuiper Belt and steering them so they pass just ahead of Earth's orbit. The asteroid's gravity would tug our planet very, very slightly forward, stealing a tiny bit of orbital momentum. If we repeat this process millions of times over hundreds of thousands of years, we could successfully widen Earth's orbit, physically pushing our planet back into the solar system's new, safe habitable zone. Or if we want to get really ambitious, we could build a Shkotov thruster. This is a colossal megastructure, an incredibly thin, highly reflective mirror, roughly half the size of the sun itself, positioned carefully near our star. It would reflect massive amounts of solar radiation back at the sun, acting like a giant stellar-sized engine. The radiation pressure would slowly but surely push the entire solar system, the sun, the Earth, the planets, and all, wherever we want it to go in the Milky Way galaxy. Solution 2. Pack up and move. Maybe trying to drag Earth around is just too heavy and nostalgic. As the sun expands into a red giant, the habitable zone, that Goldilocks area where liquid water can exist on a surface, will be pushed drastically outward. The frozen, icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn, like Europa, Ganymede, and Enceladus, will finally thaw out. They could become beautiful, warm ocean worlds teeming with potential. Humanity could migrate massively to the outer solar system. We could build floating, advanced cities on the newly melted endless oceans of Saturn's moons, with a massive, dim red sun hanging low in the distant sky. Solution 3. Leave the solar system entirely. Eventually, even the red giant will die, leaving us shivering in the dark around a tiny, fading white dwarf. By then, it will finally be time to leave our childhood home behind for good. We will build enormous generation ships. These would be massive rotating O'Neill cylinders floating in the vacuum of deep space, housing millions of people, entire artificial forests, rivers, and closed-loop ecosystems. Powered by the final bursts of energy from our dying sun, we will beam massive focused lasers into the giant solar sails of these ships, pushing them at fractions of the speed of light toward fresh, young stars in our galactic neighborhood. The death of the sun is undeniably a terrifying concept. It forces us to confront deep existential questions. It reminds us that absolutely nothing in this universe lasts forever. Our solar system is not a permanent, impenetrable fortress. It is just a temporary, warm cradle that allowed us to grow up. But this realization does not have to induce paralyzing dread. Instead, it is a beautiful invitation to optimistic nihilism. The universe is incredibly old. It is impossibly vast, and our time here as individuals is incredibly short. But we are the universe experiencing itself. We have evolved the intelligence to understand our own mortality, the agency to plan for the deep future, and the sheer defiant willpower to physically alter our cosmic fate. If humanity can survive the immediate trials of the next few centuries and learn to live in harmony with our technology, there is absolutely no fundamental law of physics preventing us from spreading across the stars. Billions of years from now, our distant descendants will watch our original sun die, not with panic and fear, but from the incredible safety of a distant, thriving new home. They will look back at that tiny glowing nebula and raise a glass to the little yellow star that gave us our very first spark. So what do you think? If you were put in charge of saving human civilization 1 billion years from now, would you try the monumental task of moving the Earth, or would you pack everything up and leave for a brand new star system? Let us know your ultimate survival plans in the comments down below.
If you want to help us make more videos about dodging cosmic apocalypses and exploring the universe, consider supporting us directly on Ko-fi.
Or grabbing a shiny new sci-fi poster from our shop. As always, thanks for watching.